Well, hello everyone. I thought I would come on really, really quickly and give a summary of everything that's going on. And I would also quickly do the empath's prayer and throw the cards. We had a lot of technical stuff going on. There is something wrong with the building, and we have another, I guess it's on the West Coast, we call it Xfinity. All right. So, what I was trying to say earlier today is that the stock market is very, very volatile. I think that we're in for a ride this coming week. And I predict that by Thursday, all hell is going to break loose. I just see complete panic going on by Thursday. I see more U.S. ships heading possibly to the Mediterranean area. And that is because during this phase of the war, as they clear Hamas, the U.S. may be asked to be there as a support. Other countries may come in as well when they begin the rebuild of Gaza. So, what it looks like is that the U.S. is coming in. We're also still getting bombings coming into Israel from the Houthi, um, but the, it's weakening. It's weakening. And now we haven't heard a lot about the talks going on with Iran. We can check that. But what I can tell you is that the stocks are going to go crazy this week. Thursday, we could see a crash. Something's happening Thursday that's causing major chaos, and it has to do with money. So I'm assuming that's a stock market crash. Could this have an impact on the housing market? Sure, because if people lose their nest egg, then they can't take out loans from banks to buy houses for mortgages. So it all, when I applied for a loan because I was looking at purchasing, those are the things that, what's your collateral? It's like, oh, well, I have a Roth IRA and how much is in it. So all of that is collateral, right? When you go and you take out it, and because it's all going to be affected, we could be able to buy their homes in the future, which could cause a drop. This is kind of how it looks to me. But and then U.S. ships, etc., military buildup in the Mediterranean. We could be seeing uh, rising tension between the U.S. and Iran as potentially they face a war. And I'm thinking Ukraine's going to win for some reason. And I think it has to do with the fact that MBS liked liked Zelensky and gave him a hero's welcome. And I think the writing is on the wall for Putin. I think members of the Abraham Accords simply do not see him as a reliable partner. And the best thing they can do if they want to have Russia be a part of the Abraham Accords is to encourage stabilization in Russia and bringing somebody in that's going to stabilize the country and stop threatening their neighbors. And that person is not going to be Putin. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll do the empath's prayer. We'll go in and we'll take a look. Thank you all for being here. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic Records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. All right, so the first thing is we're going to check the stock market real fast, just a quick blitz. Thank you for tuning in. If you could like and subscribe, I'd be very appreciative. Thank you. I'm getting close to 100K. There's an investigation, and there are internal investigations in the SEC regarding insider trading, and there are people that are demanding an investigation into insider trading if it is found out that Trump has benefited and the constituency has not because of this insider trading. It will very quickly result in people wanting Trump to be removed. But this appears to be a hidden investigation. So when we think about money and we think about a hidden investigation, we think about Securities and Exchange Commission. We know that Elon Musk was under investigation for Securities and Exchange Commission fraud, multiple investigations, including not disclosing who was giving him money, how he, and what type of money. And so we have an investigation here regarding something that was of hidden information, and the health of something remains in question. So we are asking about the stock market. The challenge would be that the stock market is unhealthy. They're looking under the hood to uncover something. And we can also see that there's an Eight of Wands here. And an Eight of Wands is a card that would denote aggressive or violent, rapid behavior. In its negative form, it can be fighting. It is associated with in Chinese medicine, but also fire in Chinese medicine because fire feeds wood in Chinese medicine. So it's hot. The organs it affects, of course, are the heart, uh, small intestine, but also it affects the gallbladder and liver as well, the time of spring. Eight, however, Eight of Wands is the time of summer. Eight being, of course, August time. And again, that is the time of heat, and the time of heat being Leo. So we could be seeing a very rocky, aggressive uh, market from now until the summer. I'm sorry to say, but I'll do a clarification for you all. I know. I feel like I'm Debbie Downer sometimes. I swear. Yeah, there's an investigation going on. Three of Pentacles is traditionally thought of as a real estate card. It's when a person is looking at the bones of something, or we have the blueprint and then we have the person actually chiseling away. In the case of of something like an investigation, it would be evidence or looking at the blueprint of a crime or something like this. And so it's also often used, Three of Pentacles, to denote evidence in a court case. If you have court or an investigation card, that kind of cards around, you could view it as an investigation card. So there's something here about some kind of rapid investigation could bagged Musk and other people that they felt could have been engaged in securities fraud, and he was already under investigation. And as I had said before, there was something I felt when I myself in the shoes of Marco Rubio as an empath using HCRV, because we feel the emotions of others, right, in remote viewing. And I just felt as a lawyer like I was being BS'd, like I had the training to see if a witness was lying to me. And I saw behavior in Elon Musk that made me think that he was lying, that I had caught him doing things that were questionable, and it caused me to repent. Going over the issue of the health of the stock market, there is some kind of experts going tinkering, trying to figure out. And I feel like some tinkering has been going on with the stock market for quite a while, right? This may be why you have, but these investigations take forever. Ace of Cups is quite auspicious, and it is the outcome which would indicate to me that people are going to be caught anybody who engaged in any kind of fraud, and they will have to make amends or restitution to the state. That's what it looks like. Okay, so the next thing we're talking about the growing protest here in the United States. There are protests happening all over the United States. Please stay safe. Of course, Saturday, I think we have another one planned. Is that right? I'll try and be out with everybody. Stay safe. Of course, you always want to come and go with the same group of people. And also call ahead, things like that. Call to let people know what you're up to. Okay, so let's take a look at the protest and if they'll be stopped because of concerns for martial law, right? We're concerned about losing the right to protest, right? So let's take a look. Fool. There is a kind of trustingness when you're an American that you're going to go out and you're going to be able to protest because we always have been able to in the past. It's our fundamental right as American citizens. So there's this kind of the fool goes out. The opposition regarding issues of that is the star. That's pretty good. That would indicate that we're supposed to be protesting, that everything's unfolding the way it's supposed to. The party is over. The party is over. The marriage is over. America is not happy, and we could be seeing people arrested, harassment of protesters, etc., because of this jail card moving in Nine of Wands. We could be, for example, seeing more arrest of students with foreign visas just because that arrest card is moving into final outcome. And Seven of Wands, be careful, people shouldn't be fighting. I don't want to be a part of anything like that, but we see this possible fighting for territory. Seven of Wands moving in, people being arrested. However, despite all of that, there's also this potentially good energy that's coming in. The final outcome is we shall overcome, Ace of Swords, that the nation will be on a good path. Also, over the issue of the opposition, Star and Sun, both quite good. It would indicate that the truth is coming out, the Sun, and also that our path is blessed, the Star. The issue of what to give up over an inverted Ten of Cups, it could be, many people feel that their love affair with the United States has come to an end. They feel like they can no longer support this country, and that includes paying taxes. They want to see if they can get another citizenship and cut cords altogether. And it's hard to, so many things that we see are a problem. All right, so we're going to now just look at Congress real fast and see if there's any disruptions taking place in Congress. We know a couple of issues are coming up, people debating on whether or not they will ever agree on a budget, and of course, the horrors of cutting U.S. aid, etc., which Congress should have been a part of that. To just cut funds without the approval of Congress, I don't think Congress would have okayed that. Let's take a look. Congress. The Constitution is the opposition to Congress. So Congress is rapidly trying to throw out things. It feels to me like they're throwing out potentially laws, etc., that could be in conflict with the Constitution, because the Constitution is the hierophant and it stands as the opposition. So the Congress is hanging up things in conflict the with the Constitution, so that Congress is not behaving totally kosher. the hopes and the fears, the death. Ooh, triple major arcana. And then the final outcome is lovers. I really think we are moving towards bringing in more Democrats sooner rather than later in midterms, etc., just because lovers would indicate that they're shaving off support even amongst Republicans. And that could just be because a lot of Republicans come from poor districts where they're hearing from their constituents that they're just not really happy. Lovers is a card that would be to reach across the aisle or to have two. You've got your group, you've got another group, you've got your wife, you got somebody else, right? This hangman also is interesting. Let me see a clarification on that. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It never worked. The Reagan tax cuts never worked. It never worked. The Reagan tax cuts never worked. And so they're constantly looking for a penny under the rug to pay for a system that doesn't sustain itself. And then you have Bush Jr. tax cuts and then Trump tax cuts. And so you've got tax cuts upon tax cuts upon tax cuts. And then everybody's running around looking for money. And it never should have gotten to this point in the first place. But the hermit is this desperate kind of feeling that they're looking to slash things in opposition to the Constitution, and the hangman. Regarding the Constitution, it always wins. Star stands over the Constitution, which is its opposition. The hope and the fear, juggling coin, stealing from Peter to pay Paul, the Two of Pentacles, the juggler, the con man. And regarding reaching across the aisle in the future comes a new president, the King of Pentacles. I'm telling you, we're looking at a J.D. Vance presidency. Could be in a couple of months because the tide is turning rapidly on Mr. 47, and I think he could respond by simply walking off the job and playing golf, because there's something like several thousand people that have made their way to the White House, evidently. There's a protest forming, and I guess it's only getting bigger. All right. I want to thank you for listening to this stream. Hopefully, the stream will be back up corrected live tomorrow when we have our Fix It Man here. Until then, if you're trying to get in for a tarot reading, a phone reading, if you want me to call you, you can book me through Booksy. You just follow the link below. And be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your love and support. It's appreciated.